Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. It has been 5 days since I've been able to record, and I'm shocked I can even get this far. I've been interrupted. For the last 5 days, I've always been interrupted. I've never been able to start and finish. Hasn't been allowed. And I'm going to tell you one of the major reasons has been Bedouins. They ain't Negroes. They ain't even the Western whites that work here. It's Bedouins. Sometimes even other Arabs too, but definitely Bedouins. They're just not on that. They're not on, they don't believe in doing anything in advance. Everything is last minute. Everything. Whether it's personal or business, it's last minute. So that being said, I've been undergoing some fundamental personality changes because people they're just aggravating. I was walking earlier and this guy from India came up, started asking me for money. Now, mind you, he asked me for money before for his dad to get treatment back in India. I gave him, I'm not going to say how much, but I gave him a sum of money. And as a test, I did the old, the holy roller Negro thing. I told him, listen, half of this you got to pay it forward, but you can't give it back to me. You got to give it to someone else, and they got to pay it forward, and they got to pay it forward. The other half you can pay back. So he only owes me half of what I gave to him. I ain't seen a cent of that. I was just walking for exercise, about to pull out the phone, do a recording, and he walks up, brother, and with his up English proceeds to try to ask me for more money and tell me some idea he's got to how he's going to pay me back. And I'm like, you haven't given me the first thing yet, and you're already asking for more. Already. So a black man was approached by an Indian, if you count me as black, asking for money, and I actually refused to try to extend more to him to help him to do not just as good as me, but as good as you. I really wasn't doing it to keep him below my level. I was mostly depriving him or denying him because one, he already owes. Two, his English was not good enough to explain what the hell he thought was going to help. I mean, he was just messing words up and changing the meaning, so I couldn't follow him clearly. He was just hard to follow, but he was clearly asking me for money, more money. And I said to him, look, man, first off, you're going to have to wait until after a particular event that's coming up in a few months. I got to save up money. I got responsibilities, and I haven't collected the first halala from you, which is like a cent. The first halala from you for the sum that I've already asked. Now, I'm late, and he held me up even a few more minutes after I told him I was already late. Now, I'm not saying it's just a vent. I'm saying this to let you know, to remind you guys that when you hear no-teps, I didn't say ho-teps, when you hear no-teps, pro-wax, and BB1s talking about only black people, sometimes they're right, but most times they're wrong. Now, this guy ain't necessarily trifling in every way, but he's trifling enough. I don't think he's going to waste money, I get that. But what I do think he's about to do is run up a debt that he can't pay back. I even told him, I might get sent to another city, or I'll send the money to you electronically. Now, I'm not in the city to jack him up. What's going to force him to do that? He ain't making much money. He needs to make more before he can pay. And I'm not in the city to force him. Why would he? I'm like, see, that's that Negro business. And I had to stop myself when I said that to myself. Wait, that's just trifling business. You know what though? If he does get married, he's not guaranteed to run into an attitude problem if he marries from amongst his own. If I married from amongst my own, I would have been guaranteed to have one no matter how much I made. Case in point. Case in point, Johnny Depp, right now. We're dealing with a time of change and shift. Think about it. A black man, black American, got approached by an Indian man, hit up for money. He's already owed money by this Indian man and got hit up for more money. Complete role reversal. Complete role reversal. Isn't this what sisters say they want? This does exist. You brothers have been in other countries and seen something similar happen. You're in a better position than some of these other men. That these same men, these women are sitting up telling you are better than you because they have a country. You find you're in a better position than them at times because of the work you've done and the skills you've learned to build the country to which they want to go. Or the country to which they decide they don't want to go because non-financially it ain't worth it and everyone knows it. You're going to face disrespect, gentlemen, no matter what. Nothing you can do is going to stop Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sophista Ratchet Sapphire from disrespecting you. So forget being respected. They won't stop disrespecting you under any circumstance. The ones who weren't going to disrespect you are already not going to do it. They'll either respect you or leave you be. Now, we're just talking about respect in that particular sentence. Either they'll respect you or they'll leave you be first. You got to be forced on them somehow for them to just be disrespectful. You got to be locked up with them and be worth no respect already. But the ones you find that are disrespecting you and you don't even have to provoke them, it doesn't take anything. Never did. They just cannot respect you. And I'm not going to front, that is a Western phenomenon. Absolutely. I'll never forget a white Muslim teacher, elderly, was sitting up talking with me once, and she actually started to express her irritation at the voice of some of the 6th grade boys. They were boys, they were in 6th grade, and she expressed irritation at the sounds of their voices because they were still high-pitched. The voices of the 6th grade girls were also high-pitched too. It didn't bother her. This is an elderly white woman. She's from the same city in which my father grew up. She knew who my grandfather was. She didn't meet him, but she knew who he was. And here she was, expressing frustration and didn't realize how off she was. Even I didn't fully realize it at that time. I knew nothing of the red pill at that point. I want you gentlemen to simply take one lesson away from this. From what I've been telling you, it's not just us. And if you are any sort of B1, Hotep, pro-black, you need to hear this. And the ones that are faking the funk alongside you, the no-teps and the pro-wax and the BB1s, well, they definitely need to hear this. Ain't no such thing as only black folks. Well, rarely is there such a thing as only black folks. I'm telling you that the biggest distinction we have is simply others' reactions to us, and that we're original. We're older, with older variety amongst the human species. Doesn't make us better, doesn't make us worse. These are the major distinctions. We are not more or less trifling than other peoples. We are not always out with our hands out. See, the truth be told, we're not even the least unified, really. I mean, I think we're probably the least racially conscious, but nobody's really racially conscious when they're dealing with somebody on average lighter than themselves. It's only when people get around folks darker than themselves that all of a sudden everybody gets race conscious, including us. And I can't even say we're an exception in that regard. We're the same as everyone else when it comes to that. We're not really that, we don't become all race conscious when we get around people paler than us. Only African Americans have recently begun to get that way. And I can understand why. Black annoy you. It's not always right, but it is provoked. But it's time that we start to really spread this word. I've told you multiple times before. Sand Dog, aka Sand Lion, has explained this. It's time we spread this word all these things that we've been saying about only us and that only we do, well, most of them are just not true. We're not unique in these regards. This man from India came and begged me is not unified with all other Indians. You think he is? No, they don't even all speak the same languages. Absolutely not. There are cities in India in which he could go, but he can't go to certain neighborhoods because he won't speak the language. And he'll beat the snot out that man. Now, the difference is that if you're Indian and you're in Africa, Africans aren't crowding around you and kicking your behinds. And I think African Americans are going to probably change that. And I think they deserve it. Whereas you can be an African in India and you go to certain neighborhoods, and if the mood is right, they gang up on you. I heard about that happening even in an Indian neighborhood in Malaysia. An African recent arrival made a wrong turn in the neighborhoods and they killed him. I heard about it. I don't know how true it is. The man that told me this was from Africa, and he even said that in Malaysia, the Malay people are nice. The Chinese people, they're neutral. They'll leave you alone. If you're talking business with them, they'll listen. You trying to buy from them? Okay. Other than that, they just leave you be. They don't bother you. They don't help you. But that the Indians are hostile to Africans. Even in Malaysia, the Indian Malaysians. That's what he told me. But you think that they're all unified and they're not. A lot of tribes in Pakistan can't stand each other. You really want to know the truth? They all supposed to be Muslim, can't be nice to each other. Ain't no sense of racial solidarity. It doesn't exist amongst other races. Until the Negro walks in, or pretty much anyone darker than them walks in, and then they have a sense of, so it's really a color solidarity, if anything. And you'll find that there are groups of people that don't even have that. And yet, despite the truth of what I'm telling you, Boom Chica and Monquisha and Sophista Ratchet Sapphire are always exaggerating the little existence of these things just so they don't have to respect you. You need to understand, no, she's looking for a reason to not respect you, and if she doesn't find it, she'll manufacture it. Do not try to win their respect. The next time you build something, black man, build it and make sure you shut them out. Only the pick-me's should be allowed in. If they ain't mammies, if they ain't what other women call mammies, shut them out. Lockout game, shout out to Lion and MGTOW, give them nothing. Thanks for listening. Black heart, black mind, black out. And as always, assalamu alaikum and black heterosexual non-select male power because they don't like it, and black patriarchy till extinction or judgment day.